2's Deputy General Secretary Paul Novak was grilled by Richard Madeley on Monday's installment of Good Morning Britain about proposed rail strikes across the nation later this week. The journalist asked Paul to address previous guest, Professor Robert Thomas' comments about how patients will be affected by the strikes. Richard stressed the professor warned this action will directly lead to people dying earlier than they would have done otherwise. Paul was interviewed by Richard and his co-host Ranveer Singh after the professor warned them about how the strikes could lead to loss of lives if patients cannot access hospitals. Richard told Paul, "We have to stick to this point. You are having strike action this week and we have a professor, who is presumably speaking for his profession, who is saying this action will directly lead to people dying earlier than they would have done otherwise. And that is the point. I am not trying to interrupt you, I just want you to answer that specific point and not broaden it to the problems of the NHS." Breaking Bad's Bryan Cranston shares major Better Call Saul cameo hint defending the reason to strike. Paul replied, "People should have the contingency measures in place as people have known about these strikes for a while now. Nobody wants to see anyone's treatment being placed at risk, and I know there will be hospitals and other organizations across the country which will have put in place those contingency measures." His appearance on the ITV news programs comes ahead of the biggest proposed rail strikes in 30 years taking place across the nation. It is understood the first of 3 walkouts by 40,000 RMT members will start shortly after midnight on Tuesday. Those striking for the 3 24-hour walkouts include maintenance staff, train staff and signallers. Only 1 in 5 trains will be running on strike days and many services across the country will be halted altogether. Paul continued, "In terms of our rail industry, the disruption that we see is not just caused by industrial action. Anybody who gets a train in this country knows they are subject to cancellations and changes to timetables." GMB fans blast Mike Perry suggestion flip-flops kill in fiery row, must see Emily Thornberry sparks GMB switch off as fans fume over interview, reaction smoke and mirrors Ben Shepherd addresses break from ITV show. Latest, he said he understood the professor's concerns but stressed how people have the right to strike. However, Richard asked, "Did you take the professor's point on board that it's a moral issue as well as an industrial relations issue and a pay issue?" Paul directed his anger toward the government which took the decision to slash rail spending in October 2021. He said it was no use having ministers appear on television to be interviewed about the strike action. Maybe they should be around the table working out how to resolve the strikes, he fumed. Before Paul appeared on Good Morning Britain, Professor Robert told Richard and Ranveer he thought the strikes were selfish. "This is going to lead to loss of lives, maybe not now, but over the next few months," he warned. Good Morning Britain airs on weekdays at 6 a.m. on ITV.